Well, hello everybody. It's Nicole Laliberte with Cowgirls and Spurs. How are you? Happy Tuesday. Woo, it's hot up here. All right, come on in and get scorching with me. We're going to do some fun. We're going to do a fun bow tonight. We're going to be doing my signature bow, the Laliberte bow block, and using some of my signature ribbons. So my signature bow is the Laliberte bow. It's one of my favorite bows that I make over and over and over again. So as you pop on, say hi, let me know you're here. I'm just gonna kind of get started because it's really hot up here and the air conditioner's working overtime, and I really want to bring this to you because I thought the colors were gorgeous for fall. And even though I'm not personally experiencing fall yet, we are still in the heart of triple-digit heat. I want to get in the spirit of things. Hello, Teresa. How are you? So I have a couple different materials that I'm going to be using today for this signature bow. It's the same pattern that I've showed you on my tutorials for the Laliberte bow block. This will go into the Laliberte bow block tutorials. Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is, can I ask if there is a video on Candy Horn behind you? There is, my dear. Go into the video gallery at cowgirlsandspurs.com. It's up. We did that, I think, 2 weeks ago. So it should be fairly close to the top. So this is the Laliberte bow block. This is my creation, my baby. This is what I use every week to show you fun bows. We're going to be using that today. And then I'm just going to show you how I throw together materials to make my bow. Okay, I think, let me see, that was Kimberly that asked for the garland. I think, yes. So Kimberly, go back on to cowgirlsandspurs.com in the video gallery. That way you don't have to scroll through my Facebook feed. Should be fairly close. We just did this 2 weeks ago. Should be about within the first 5, 6, 7 videos, something like that. Okay, so I have told you, you guys, I love to use linen napkins. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to use a linen napkin today. I've grunged this one like crazy. Antiqued it like crazy. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to incorporate that into my signature Laliberte bow. I have some burlap with some lace accents to it. And then I have this fun fall ribbon that's going to go up on my site this weekend, or actually this week because we're only on Tuesday. This is this fun, really colorful ribbon that I'll be uploading this week. And so I have a couple patches of that. And then I also have this wire ribbon that I picked up in Tennessee when I was back there. I gotta drink water, it's hot. Look how fun these stripes are. Don't those feel a little whimsical for fall? So I'm going to be using some of this ribbon today too. I have 2 strips. I'll give you all the measurements as we go. And then I have longer versions of the colorful fall fabric as well. So let me get my yardstick so I can show you and tell you how many inches we're going to be using. So if you want to recreate this bow and use your own fall colors, the ribbons themselves are about, let's see, this one's about 2.5 inches wide. Okay, and I have 2 strips that are about 17 inches. Okay, and then I have 2 strips that I want to say are about 40 inches. So I have them looped over so that they're equal. It's an equal part on the fold. So this is 20 inches, this is 40 inches. I have 2 of those in this flexible fabric that does not have any wires in it. And then I also have 40 inches, 2 of those same lengths in the wire, okay? And I just have it folded in half. Does that make sense? 2 40 inches of the wire, 2 40 inches of the regular fabric that does not have wire in it. Let me get these all organized. You know me and my organizing, it has to happen. Okay, and then I have 2 that are about 17 inches, just between 17 and 20 inches. Don't get crazy on perfection because we're going to kind of mix and match this a little bit. So let me bring out my bow block. Let me show you how I'm going to get started. Normally when I'm doing my bows, I have a pretty good plan on how I'm going to do this because I want to make sure that my colors, hi everybody, Kimberly and Teresa, Jody and Donna. How are you guys? Cooler than I am, I hope. I got into my truck to go pick up my daughter at school and my truck registered 112. Ew. Okay, so we got in there and then started cruising up the mountain to go get her at school, and it dropped down to 102, I think. So, yay, spring, right? Super hot. Okay, so what I like to do is put my zip ties in. I like to get one zip tie in here going vertical in between my center pegs. And then on top of that, I'm going to place a horizontal one going across the center as well. And that way my zip ties are in place. A lot of times I forget. If you forget, don't worry about it. Hey, Betty, how are you? Hi, Kim. So let me just show you how I'm going to start to layer this. The first thing I'm going to do is set my bow block aside because I'm going to rip up some of my linen. Now, I've been saving this linen. I've already processed it. I've dipped it in glue and water. I've antiqued it. I've grunged it, so I have all kinds of wrinkles. But I want a lot of this texture. Okay, so it's got these little kind of tassels on the end. I'm going to utilize those in my design today. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take my scissors and kind of cut a little strip and rip it. So then now I have this wonderful textured ribbon. I'm just going to lay it in my pile. And then I'm going to flip it to the other side so I get the other length as well. Approximately the same cut. I didn't measure it. Okay, and I just flung things probably that I didn't need across the room. You know how I do. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I have this edge that's got these tassels on it, and I have the straight edge, and then this edge has the tassels on it. What I'd like to do is create some strips that the ends are the tassels, okay? Because we're going to make some legs on our ribbon. So I'm just going to tear them off so that I have random edges. You with me? So now you just created a nice little tail for your ribbon that has all kinds of fun texture on it. Tassels on the end. Okay, and I'm going to cut up maybe like 6 of those. So I have 2 that have the texture on the end, and then I have 4 that have the texture on the edges. Or I'm sorry, 4 of the textures on the ends, like this. Got distracted by all those little lovely emojis. And then I have several that have 2 that have the edges. And then I'm going to save this fabric for another project because I can get quite a bit out of this fabric. All right, let's start layering. Okay, so I know that my shorter pieces are going to go off to the side, and I'm going to start working with my longer pieces. And so because I want a foundation, this is going to be a fairly large bow, okay? So just be aware of that. It's going to be a big statement. You can add it to any project. You can add it to your wreath. You can add it to your pumpkins. You can wrap a package or a present with it. It's just, you can make it even smaller if you wanted to, but I'm going to go big. So I'm going to go big with this project. And so I already know that if I measure, my corner to my corner is about 12 inches. Actually about 14 inches. Okay, corner to corner, and 10 inches wide, not a good yardstick to use measuring stuff, 10 inches wide, 10 inches vertical, 14 from edge to edge. But from the edge to my corner here, from the first peg, is 10 inches. So that just gives you a little bit of a ballpark measurement. I ballpark everything. I'm Italian. It's sprinkle of this, sprinkle of that. Nobody measures when you're Italian. You eyeball everything. So I eyeball everything. But just know, corner to corner, 14 inches. Top of the peg to the corner, you've got 10 inches. Okay, so I want to go somewhere in the middle of that. And all I'm going to do is start laying my stripe vertical, somewhat between my top peg, my top corner, my top pegs. In the middle is about 12 inches. And I'm just going to let it dangle off the side. Okay? And I'm going to repeat that with my other folded 40-inch ribbon, kind of folding it up a little bit so it fits in the pegs. And again, I'm going to eyeball it so that it's about 12 inches from corner to corner across. Okay? And you want to crisscross while you're doing your bow. Okay? So that's the beginning of our bow. You can kind of see the pattern. From there, we're going to create some texture. Okay, and I'm going to start with these long 40 inches of the fabric. And I'm going to go across to my pegs. And when I get midway, I'm going to turn and go vertical down the side so that it dangles like this. And I'll show you what I did here. Okay, I'm gonna put the other one in. So I start sideways, horizontal, okay, right where I want it. Hold my fingers and then droop it down diagonally so that it's following the same path. So I came across here, and then instead of having it go out this way, I came down and followed the same path as the stripes. Sprinkling the Luke feathers. That's a good one. I like that one too. You can sprinkle the Luke feathers, or you can sprinkle, where'd my goat go? You guys, I clean my desk every night, and I swear I shouldn't clean it all because, oh, here's my goat, love. I know where everything is if I don't clean. I got to get another one of these that's a turkey, and I can say spread the Luke feathers. Even though the Lukes are no longer friends, I still have them both, and they're lovely and delightful. Those buggers got territorial and ruined it for everybody. All right, so here we go. All right, so I'm just going to create that kind of patterning with my texture. Nope, we're going to do these as legs. Okay, before I add anything else, bring in your legs. These are your tails. Now, I want you to kind of do a little variation here. Let's take them all apart because Mama's chaotic right now. Okay, so here's my center. I'm going to pretend my fingers are my center. Okay, and I'm going to bring my legs down like this. Now, you can see I have a short tail and I have a long tail. I'm going to place them across my bottom white pegs. Okay, let me get all this out of here so I can break it down for you, because when you're watching the replay and you're trying to put this bow together, you're going to appreciate that I broke down all these steps. So here's a peg and here's a peg. All I did was loop that little configuration so that it's dangling down in the center. Okay, and I did that on top of my base, which was the crisscross here, the vertical down, or the horizontal down, the horizontal, and then diagonal. I got to get my directions together. Today my brain is just working at a half mass. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is start adding a little bit of texture, okay, by popping some horizontally, just a little bit. They'll all fall down together, but I don't want it to be in my way, and adding a couple more of my legs, okay? And now I'm going to take my fabric and overlap it. See how it's overlapped? You've got a little tail here and a little tail here. Okay, you want it to be overlapped. Turn it upside down so that the flaps are on the bottom, and squeeze them into your bow. You can kind of see how it's coming together as a bow. Okay, now I just want to add a little bit more texture, so I'm going to bring in some different lengths. So let me grab my fabric scissors, and I'm going to take this burlap, and I'm going to just kind of run my scissors down the center of it to make it two thinner pieces. Okay, and I'll fray it a little bit by pulling out some of the strands to create some more texture. Okay, and I'm going to fold it so that it's overlapped, and create a diagonal. Okay, same thing here, fray the edges. And I'm going to do the same overlap, just like this, folding it in half so my flaps are down, but instead of it going so that the burlap lace is up, I'm going to bring the burlap lace down, but still do the diagonal. Upside down. Okay, just like that. So then I have lace up, lace down. Okay. Now keep squishing it, because we're going to keep adding a little bit more layer. Okay, now we're going to bring in our thinner piece here. Let's see if this one tears well. Sometimes this one doesn't tear that well. Sometimes you really have to muscle it. You might need a little ibuprofen after this one. Okay, same thing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to create a tail with one. I'm going to fold one in half. I'm leaving all of these beautiful little textures in there. Overlap, fold it in half, flip it, and go horizontal. The reason why you fold it in half is because when you come in with your cable tie and you zip it, you want it to be kind of overlapped like this. So when the zip tie comes around here, it grabs those edges. And when I'm finished, I have to send it to my mom. Okay, well, let me finish so you can see if you truly like it. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on these guys, except instead of going straight down the center, I want thinner strips, but I want the wire. So I know this is not gonna tear, so I'm just gonna kind of cut it into maybe a 1/2 inch where I want the wire, because I wanna be able to control how it lays with this particular color, and I'm gonna do 2 of those. So I'm just gonna use up my ribbon, and then when I'm done, I'll have a piece of ribbon for another accent that I can use on another project, so I won't waste any of this ribbon. Okay, set that aside. Let me see if I can get this to fray a little bit. It doesn't. All right, so again, overlapping. I'm gonna go diagonal with this one. Okay, and overlapping. When you get the hang of it, you can get really fast. When you're not trying to do it on a video and show people how to do it, you know, it takes me maybe a minute or 2 just to put the actual bow together. Okay, a little bit more here. I think I'm gonna bring, okay, I'm gonna create a bow. Okay, so crisscross applesauce. So you have it like this, and then I'm gonna press it down like that. Do you make sense? Okay, let me do that again. So you have it, and all you do is overlap it like this, okay? Find your center, bring your loops down, just like that, and put it over the top, okay? And that is the beginning stages of your bow. Let's zip it. Let us zip it. Zip it good. Do 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 do. Let's zip it. Okay. Pull tight. Zip it. All right, let's get the bow block out of our way because we are done, and that is as simple as it is. Okay, so this is before we fluff it and we foof it and we get it all lovely and doubly. I'm making up words today, you guys. I'm telling you, I have been working on ribbons. I've been packaging boxes. I have been just busy. I had a little spasm night last night. It was not fun. So today I'm feeling a little, I'm chipper, but you know, wears me out. I did it to myself. I did not eat very well yesterday at all, so it kind of caught up to me. All right. So this is where I would come in and I trim my edges and trim my my tails here and give them a nice edge. And I'm going to do them in different sizes and lengths. Okay. Just kind of trim them, fold them in half. I always have to mentally in my head figure out which way it's going to go to create that nice little edge. Just kicking things on the floor, guys. I'll pick it up later. Can't be stopped. See, I almost went the wrong way. You got to really visualize in your head which direction you're supposed to go to get these beautiful tails. And then I just futz around with it. I just kind of pull on them, see how they're twisting, adjust them a little bit so that all the colors are coming through before I fix them. Now this is the point where if I was putting this on a project, I would probably tack down some of my bows with a little dollop of glue just to keep it in position. 2 more to go. All right. Kind of twist it, making sure everything's popping through, looking sweet. Okay, so there's our bow so far. We've got all kinds of colors. We're gonna create some loop-de-loops here. We're gonna create some bends, and then we're gonna put on our centerpiece. Are you with me so far? Isn't that beautiful with all those colors? So this is where we kind of get in and futz with it a little bit. We just gotta futz with it a little bit. All right, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, loving it. This is the Laliberte bow. All right, here we go. Now, you know I like rustic. I love rustic, I love primitive. And I just started carrying in my shop this beautiful rusted twisted wire. Well, we're gonna use it for this project. You can find that on the shop in the craft supply section of Cowgirls and Spurs. And so I'm gonna straighten it out a little bit. You can't really see that unless you look on my shirt right there. But I'm leaving quite a tail before I get going, okay? And so I'm going to just kind of find my center. Let me clip off this one cable tie so that it doesn't get in my way. It won't affect the cable tie that's ready to attach it to a project. So I really just want to find my center, just like that, okay? I'm going to start here with my finger, and I'm just going to wrap some of the wire around my bow. If you can see that. All I'm doing is wrapping a little bit so that you can see a little bit of wire in there, making sure you're not catching any of your tails. Okay, and then when I get to the way I want it, I'm going to cut it. And then when you get to the point where you've got the two ties here, what I will do is just twist them like a bread tie, something like that, like a little bread ties, just so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, and I'm going to let them stick up a little bit while we finish embellishing, because that'll be the last thing that we do. Okay, so we still have everything the way that we want it. It's all nice and beautiful. Okay, but now we have some antennas sticking out like wires. Now this one felt very ranchy, very just primitive to me. And so I thought I was going to bring in a little bit of primitiveness. So I cut a little circle out of lace that I wanted to go ahead and add in this to make it a little primitive. And then for this project, what I have is a couple accent pieces, just to bring in that primitive kind of fall tie. I have a cute little orange button. I have a cute little green button and all the colors of our ribbons. Those zip ties, I want to say, here, I'll measure one for you. When you order the Laliberte bow block, I send you with a couple of each size so that we have it ready to go. I want to say these are 12-inch. I like using the bigger ones because they're stronger. You can get your fingers in there, and no matter how big your ribbons get, it still zips beautifully and you don't feel like you're fighting with the zip tie. So I'm just going to start building it up. The first thing I'm going to do is put my yardstick away. Is I'm just going to kind of come in here and apply some glue right where my wires are to put down my lace. Okay, so that's all I did. Can you see that little grungy round of lace right here? I just put that there, glued it, and now I'm going to build up a little bit. So you don't always just have to have one piece of bling to embellish your design. You can have a bunch of different things adding texture in here. And so for this one, it just seemed very, I don't know, sweet and kind of country. And so I thought I would just bring in some different elements to continue with that primitive and country. Whoops, my glue just fell off. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hold on. Hold on. Climbing under the table. Let me put a little bit more glue on there. We're gonna play a little Jeopardy. Do, 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 do. Okay, stay. There we go. See? Just a little primitive. All right. Now, bring in your Sharpie. It can be any size. Hey, Patsy, how are you? Bit of a sweaty mess today, but you guys love me, right? All right, keeping it real, guys. All right, so here we go. I'm just gonna wrap my wire around my fat Sharpie, creating some curly cues, and then slip it out. And I'm going to bring it in front of all my little tassels. Okay? Just wrapping it very gently and kind of tying it on itself, twisting it a little tight, and then kind of just pulling it out just a little bit. So it creates this little bit of whimsy. Now, if you recall, we have our zip tie already in the back, ready to go. See? So it can be attached to your bows. Okay? And so as you just start to fix it, you just make your bow custom tailored to how you want it. Make it whimsical. Kind of bend things down a little bit. Look at how cute that is. That is the Laliberte bow, using the Laliberte bow block. How fun is that? You can make so many cute and whimsical bows. I can mess with this thing all day, just getting it perfect. I really like to just kind of crunch things up and make them all just full and lovely. I hope you love it. I hope you want to try it. I love you guys, and that's my inspiration for making the Liberty bow. I'm tongue-tied. Using the Laliberte bow block. So this will go and be uploaded by tonight into the Laliberte bow section for another tutorial for another idea in making a bow with the Laliberte bow block. That's all I've got for now. Love you guys. See you all real soon. Bye.